That day, January the 4th, 2015, when I received that phone call, and that was the worst phone call I could ever receive. That a day don't go by that I don't cry. When I went to his grave the last time, I just wanted to dig him up. I'm like, my child really down here.
It has been 5 years since Walter Ray Jackson was shot and killed in Mid-City. No arrests have been made in the case, and Crimestoppers is now hoping a reward will lead to Jackson's killer. Joining us now via Zoom is Darlene Cusanza, the president and CEO of Crimestoppers. Thanks for joining us this morning. First of all, we are seeing what appears to be an uptick in crime over the past several weeks. And what are police telling you about that?
You're right, Eric. We are seeing an increase, particularly in violent crime of shootings. And of course, we've seen that trend of homicides increasing over the last couple of months. And, they're as perplexed as we are. I mean, here we're in a COVID situation, and certainly it just seems like as people were able to get back out, these crimes are occurring. I would say a lot of those are relational in the sense that there are a connection possibly between the two, whether it's retaliatory actions or even some domestic actions. But it's alarming. I mean, the other statistic that we're watching too is carjackings. Individuals, particularly juveniles, are participating in these carjackings.
And it's hard enough to solve crimes that are, current, recent crimes. When you go back 5 years for the Walter Ray Jackson crime, it is harder to get information on that when it's that far removed.
Absolutely. And I do want to start by saying that the last 3 episodes we've actually, with our morning show visits, have focused on older cases or just, maybe within a 2-month range case. And on 3 of those cases, we have gotten new tips. So even if we're not able to solve it right now, getting that new information for families is incredibly important.
And that's why you do this. That's why you do this, to get it back in the public's attention and maybe get some new information or new clues on it.
Definitely. And when you talk about reward money right now, Eric, I mean, people are hurting, so $2,500 or $5,000, whatever that number is. We had one, Kendrick Cockerham, who was $20,000 that was announced a couple of weeks ago. That's a lot of money. But for Mr. Jackson, Walter Ray Jackson, you're correct. This happened in January 4th of 2015. And no new information has been coming through. So NOPD asked us to cover this again. Mr. Jackson was 34 years old when he was killed. He had just visited with a friend a bar on the Sportsman Corner Bar, which was on 2nd and Dryad Street. And when they went home, he drove his friend home. Someone actually ambushed his car. And because of the multiple times that he was shot, there could have been 2 shooters. So someone ambushed his car, and he was, found deceased in the vehicle. And that vehicle was parked in the 2800 block of Palmyra Street.
Yeah.
Again, that was January 4th. And it was about 10:20 in the evening.
Well, hopefully hopefully this will help. Let's move on to the Devante Bryant case. I mean, that was one that just shook this town.
Yes, absolutely. And we just announced on Friday an increase in that reward. Okay, Devante, of course, was 9 years old when he was gunned down on the street. 2 other teenagers were shot. That was in the 7th Ward. And we'd gotten information. We got information on the car, the Jeep that they saw. We increased that on Friday to $10,000. Now, we're praying that the names that is definitely need to make that arrest come through. But Devante seems to have just been an innocent bystander, happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, we should not, as a community, allow these things to happen. So $10,000 is on the table. We're just begging anyone with information at this point to please come forward. This, is just so sad. And this happened after a string of juveniles being shot across the nation. On July 4th is when we started tracking to Devante's death. And just way too many young babies are being killed by gunfire.
And that's what's so good about Crimestoppers, because people are afraid to come forward. You do this totally anonymously, so you never have to testify, never have to give your name. Darlene, thank you very much. We appreciate the update on that. If you have information about the murders of Devante Bryant or Walter Jackson, please call Crimestoppers at 822-1111. Remember, the rewards are sizable in each of these cases. Again, you don't have to give your name, and you could be eligible for the cash reward. The number again, 822-1111, if you want to help police solve these 2 crimes. Dave?